Everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I have a brand new tier maker video for you guys. Today I'm going to rank every single 15th Doctor episode because season 2 has now wrapped. It's done. Obviously Ncuti Gatwa's run is also done, but obviously the future is very, I would say, we're not quite sure when Doctor Who will be back on our screens in the future. So yeah, I guess we'll need to wait and see for that. But now I have this great new video for you guys. So right, anyway, let's talk about these episodes. Let's let's rank them, and I'll tell you a little bit more information on what I think of the episodes, what my thoughts are, and what my reaction was when I actually saw them. So alright, let's go. Alright, first of all, I'm going to see how I'm obviously going to do this. All these episodes are in chronological order, but the thing is, should I do them in chronological order too, or should I just do them random? I also see that the giggle isn't here, so the first appearance of Ncuti Gat was Doctor, but well, okay, that's not bad. I guess it's alright. So anyway, if we were to put the giggle in here too, which it isn't, obviously, I think I would put the giggle pretty high, but yeah, no, let's begin with, I suppose, the first one, the church on Ruby Road. Anyway, the first official episode where Ncuti Gatwa was, or is the Doctor, alright, with Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday. I have to say, I really liked this episode. It was very fun and it was like a new adventure for the Doctor. And I really appreciated the episode quite a bit. Obviously, the goblins were interesting, like the goblin song was also a nice inclusion, and the little time paradox, or the time twist there in this episode was also very interesting, where the Doctor actually needed to save Ruby, because the goblins wanted to eat her or something, or wanted to eat her little baby child, or her little sister, or was it the brother? I think it was sister. Anyway, we also had some more information about the flux and also about the timeless child. So I would say I'm going to place it on B. Very nice.
Little baby feet, little baby.
Amazing. No, it's not. What do we do?
Alright, the next one, Space Babies. Well, Space Babies, it was I'm not going to lie. I think the episode was pretty okay. Like, it was enjoyable. If this was your first time watching though, that's a bit insane, because the boogeyman was literally made out of boogies, and that was a bit childish, I suppose, but I think it had its charms. Yeah, I think it had. Obviously we had more information about stories and the entire like the theme going into Ncuti Gatwa's era, where stories and realities and things like that are very important. And in this episode, Space Babies, the boogeyman was created because of because the babies didn't really they wanted to have something that they were afraid of, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to place it with C. Yeah, okay, interesting. The next one, The Devil's Cord, which is obviously the second episode in season 1. So The Devil's Cord, that's a bit difficult, because I think Maestro was a really good villain, and I think it's always a twist at the end song at the ending of the episode was really confusing. But I've got to say, I'm going to place it on A, because it had a few flaws, but overall I think if this was the first episode of the season, then it would have been just an absolute blast. But yeah, no, I think this works, right?
With all my adventures throughout time and space, I have to tell you, there's always a twist at the end.
Alright, the next episode, boom. This was the third episode, obviously, in season 1, where the Doctor stepped on a landmine, and Ruby Sunday needed to save him. Obviously, we also had Villain Guard as the main, I guess, villain of this episode. Villain Guard is like, I suppose it's like this evil corporation that uses technology to its advantage, and that sells technology and sells weapons throughout the universe and the galaxy. And it's a simple idea, like the capitalistic mindset of one corporation that obviously might have become the death of the Doctor, but obviously Ruby saves him, which is really interesting. I'm going to say, yeah, Boom is on S tier. It's really good, and had one of the greatest performances of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. Damn, that's quite sad actually that these are all the episodes that Ncuti Gatwa was the Doctor. But anyway, okay, we need to go forward. We need to move on, okay?
Of course there's security. There's a firewall. Why didn't I think of that?
What's happening?
The algorithm will do anything it can to protect itself, anything at all.
It's alright, even if it hurts. Anyway, so 73 yards is up next. This was a very experimental episode, but it was quite good. I'm going to say, hey, yeah, it was quite new, quite refreshing, and quite interesting. So alright, let's move to Dot and Bubble. Alright, up next, Dot and Bubble. Okay, this is another great episode. Let's see. I really like the concept, the idea of the episode. It was so interesting. It was so new and refreshing too. I'm going to place it at S. Like the speech at the end of the episode. Holy shit. That was insane. So yeah, as Ncuti Gatwa being obviously the first black Doctor officially, if you don't count Joe Martin's Doctor. And I think all of these people and find time, like this, the town already says it, it's fine time. You already know there's some kind of paradoxal thing inside of that, like fine time. Never ever is something fine, always, you know. So life is always tough, and I think like all the white characters are very conservative, and I think it's such brilliant episode, very well thought out. Alright, up next, Rogue. Another great episode. Like, that was the first, I guess, episode of the season where we actually had a new alien. Like, before that, we had, like, goblins, we had gods, we had some kind of old woman in 73 yards, which, obviously, fun fact, was the first episode that Ruby, or I guess Millie Gibson filmed. So, that was also very, very brilliant. And I suppose Dot and Bubble, like white people as being the bad guys. Yeah, come on. Imagine being white. Couldn't be me. No, just kidding. Anyway, we also had Boom, like a landmine, as the main villain. You know, it doesn't really... I'm not quite sure. But Rogue is the first official episode where we actually had these skinwalkers, I would say. These aliens, these birds that looked like humans and could transform. Kind of like the Sledine, but... totally different aliens, a pair of, you know, totally different pair of aliens too. So I would say Rogue is pretty high up with me. Like, I really like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think Rogue, Dot and Bubble and Boom are now on S tier. Okay, these two upcoming ones are interesting because I don't really remember a lot of them. Or you know, remember a lot that happened during these episodes. Like the Legend of Ruby Sunday, we had like this room, I would say like it's a safe room or whatever. It's a room where people could go and look back at memories inside the unit headquarters. It's interesting to say the least. Like Susan Triad had her big reveal at the end of the episode, and obviously Sutek was also introduced in this episode too, or I suppose was revealed. But the thing is, that's a bit difficult because the Legend of Ruby Sunday, I don't know, kind of forgot what I reviewed it back in my review a year ago. So I would say the Legend of Ruby Sunday, I think I'm going to place it next to Space Babies. Oh, There we go. Empire of Death. No, not yet. Well, although, yeah, okay. I'm going to place it next to Space Babies. Obviously, I don't hate any Doctor Who episode whatsoever, but I just think, like, Boom, Dot and Bubble, Rogue, and all the episodes above it are so much better than just, Legend of Ruby Sunday. And I think that's, yeah, it's harsh, but I think some episodes are just better than other ones because the writing is just remarkable, I would say. Okay, Empire of Death up next. Yes, Sutek was interesting. I guess his new design was interesting. The big reveal at the end left me a bit disappointed. Obviously, Ruby's mom not being some kind of crucial figure is just, her mom. It was like a big twist, big reveal that they were setting up. Like Russell T Davies was setting up a big reveal. Like maybe Ruby could have been like the daughter of the Doctor or like the daughter of Susan. But no, it was just a mere human, and that's quite alright. But I just think like the build up wasn't necessary for the entire series to actually eventually lead up to a normal woman. It's it's a bit absurd to actually just complain about it, but I think Empire of Death is also up there. Yeah, okay, yes. All right, next one. Joy to the World. This was a really fun Christmas special. I really liked it. I'm going to place it, let's see. I am going to place it. That's a bit difficult. Like, I really liked it. Okay, well, maybe the main companion, or like the companion of this series or this episode, could have been better. Stephen Moffat wrote this episode, but we had Anita, we had Joy, and I think Joy wasn't really a lot in the episode. Like, it lent more to Anita being a very crucial, important role to the Doctor because she spent a year with the Doctor, which is more than obviously Joy did in the entire episode. So I am going to place it. Oh boy, there are so many inconsistencies in these two series. I'm going to place it. So difficult. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe some things were cool. The Time Hotel was very dope. And I think, like, obviously the way that Stephen Moffat used the Time Hotel was very clever too. So, alright, let's talk about the Robot Revolution. Up next. Alright, the Robot Revolution. Let's see where I'm going to place this one. I really like that one. I'm going to place it with Robot Revolution next to 73 yards. It's obviously the first introduction to Belinda Chandra, and she gets taken away to the I guess Miss Belinda Chandra 1 planet. It's also fun because the Doctor was there when she was kidnapped, also tried to save her, but then timeline mixed up where Doctor was there before her, and like the Star Certificate was also an interesting inclusion. Like Al was also a very cool bad guy. So it felt like a real good Doctor Who episode. A lot of science fiction, a lot of like, human humor, right? Human humor, if that made sense. I don't know, like, Belinda just doesn't know why robots are after her. It's fun. It's fun. It was fun. It was nice. I'm really glad that they made this episode. So there you go.
Robots are kidnapping me!
Alright, well, Lux is a great episode. Obviously, Mr. Ring-a-Ding, aka Lux Imperatus, or something like that, the god of light, was introduced in this episode, another god being. And I'm going to place it next to Robot Revolution. Like, these two were absolute bangers of episodes. Like, season 2 was really great. And I think that's something that we forget because the entirety of season 2 was really buzzing, man. Was really dope. Was really good, and obviously some minor nitpicks, obviously, but like I think the final like Wish War, the Reality War, really made us a bit annoyed. But I think Robot Revolution and Lux were damn great episodes. And like the fourth wall break between the Whovians or the Doctor Who fans and the episode, and obviously the 2D animation style. Yo, I think absolute cinema, guys, absolute cinema. Because it was set in a cinema, guys. Oh my days, it actually made sense. This was a great episode.
Oh my god.
Actually, no, I'm going to place Lux to S because I think it's... okay. I think this suits better with my interests, obviously being also films and cinema. And I just think it was a great episode. It was really fun, really nice. Now I'm thinking if I should place Robot Revolution or maybe another episode. No, I think we are good. I think we are somewhat good. Yes. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, okay. We're good. We good, man. Just wanted to, double check before, I actually switch some places here. But The Well is up next. This episode was really stunning, really fantastic, really fascinating too. Obviously, the sequel to Midnight. And I would say it was, my opinion, let's see. It was a really thrilling episode, really horrifying, not really, but it was like it lent more into the horror and thriller of Doctor Who. So I'm going to place it next to the Robot Revolution, or maybe that's a bit difficult because I really liked the story. Yeah, okay, I'm going to place it with The Well, The Well and Esther, or Esther. I think that works. All right.
This whole world is cold, lifeless, and dead.
We have a body.
What are you?
All right. Lucky Day is up next, and obviously this episode lent more into the unit world and Ruby Sunday's little world. So I think it was a damn good episode. Like Conrad being the villain, the bad guy, was really interesting, and it was really fun actually to see the Doctor just appear for like a few scenes, but not the entirety of the episode. Yeah, I think I'm going to place it next to the Robot Revolution. Obviously, very nice. Alright, the story and the engine up next. This was an episode presumably, I suppose, mostly set in Africa, which was really fun, and I think that works because the Doctor Ncuti Gatwa is a black actor, and I think, damn, this episode was really good actually. Yeah, I'm going to place it with S. A very big work of art, respected the cultures, respected the people, and respected the overall story of like the Doctor, being the Doctor, because the two seasons focused on gods, and now the story and the engine was about like a fake god. It was very interesting to see the Doctor's world be, I suppose, a bit mind flipped. I suppose my mind was flipped when I watched this episode. It was not really all over the place. It was just focused on one character and actually breaking that character down, and the stories about it, and the stories of like cultures and people, and it was beautiful. Very nice.
Telling their stories, bickering. I will not fail them.
Alright, up next, the Interstellar Song Contest. That was a fun episode, to be honest. Like the Graham Norton mention, or the appearance of Graham Norton and Ryan Clark. I don't really know the man, but it was nice probably for British audiences to see that. We obviously had the best song ever made, Dagadoo. Dagadoo was one of the best songs in Doctor Who. For I think it should have been there, and like the top 100 most influential songs ever. I think Dagadoo is one of the most insane songs because it was mentioned in Doctor Who, but I think it should have been mentioned all over the world. I think Dagadoo must get some kind of prize in the coming future. Maybe someone, maybe not me, will sing this song in the future on a Eurovision Song Contest, guys. I mean, I'm not saying I will, but I will. Yeah, no, just kidding. Anyway, the Interstellar Stone contest was really fun. Uh, really liked the moment where the Doctor flew into the space and had this vision of Susan, and like the younger side of the Doctor was really felt in this episode too. So that was a really nice episode.
Go back, grandfather.
Alright, well, the next two ones are interesting. So we have Wish World. To be honest, like the first beginning minutes where we got introduced to John Smith and his family was really nice. Obviously, at the end of the Interstellar Song Contest, the TARDIS doors blew up, and I guess this episode it didn't really get explained. But anyway, at the beginning of the episode, we saw the Rani kidnapping little baby Desiderium, so the god of wishes, and she created this wish world together with Conrad. And we also saw in the Interstellar Song Contest that Mrs. Flood by-generated into the Rani. So I guess, yeah, we had two Ranis. So that is very, very interesting. I suppose everything up until the Doctor was at the Rani's place was nice, but then the Rani gave this big monologue about, you know what, Doctor, this is not just setup or not just story, it's just also part of my plan. And she had this big reveal about Omega. So Wish World, I suppose, yeah, it's yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's because it's the two most recent episodes, and I'm not quite sure Legend of Ruby Sunday and The Empire of Death. If I were to rewatch it, then it would probably be higher. But right now, I haven't seen it like in I believe a year or two, maybe year and a half ish. So yeah, there we go. But Wish World, I just literally saw like 2 weeks ago. So there we go. But anyway, the last episode up next, the Reality War. So for the Reality War, I have a lot of things to say. Obviously, first of all, the big reveal that Ncuti Gatwa regenerated into Billy Piper. That was interesting. Not a lot of people are happy about that decision, but it is the future. We can really change it, right? So Billy Piper will be the 16th Doctor, obviously coming up. So that's really interesting. We had obviously Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor coming back, which is really nice. Obviously, the Rani was eaten by Omega. Omega looked like this zombie skeleton guy. Not really what I was hoping for. But, oh well. We also had, obviously, Unit coming back from the reality warping, Wish World. So that was nice. What else did we see? Like, Belinda... it gets revealed that Belinda had a daughter this entire time instead of the Doctor and Belinda having a daughter. It was all over the place, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. I am not quite sure where to put this one, because if I were to place it next to Church on Ruby Road, Joy to the World, a Wish World, yeah, I'm not quite sure actually. I really liked I love Doctor Who, and I can't hate it because a few things happens on accident, on purpose. I'm not quite sure how it went there at the Bad Wolf Studios, but I'm going to place the Reality War next to the Wish World. Currently, I might rewatch these episodes and think, well, maybe I was a bit too harsh on myself. Maybe I was wrong about a certain episode. But I think for the time being, this is the ranking. Obviously, I didn't place an episode in D because, bro, it's my favorite show. Why should I place something low because, something, bad happens in the episode? Like, I look at it in its entirety. Like, every episode is very unique from one another. Obviously, that's good, that's great. But sometimes, some episodes are just better than other episodes, obviously. But alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this ranking video. I might rewatch these episodes. I might go and do some research on some other episodes. Maybe in the future things will change. Maybe I could even redo this ranking in the future. We'll need to wait and see, but I think this is pretty much the most of them are just true, because like the ones that are the most above are the ones that I really like a lot, and where Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor really shined, and I really found that interesting. Obviously, A tier is much more fun and entertaining episodes, but oh yeah, obviously, like all of these episodes were entertaining, but yeah, I think for the time being it is this. So yes, alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this video, what you thought of a particular episode, a specific episode. Just let me all know down in the comment section below, and I will check you later. Goodbye everyone.